Okay. I'm basically the part-time program coordinator for the BFET program here at Spokane Falls, and I've put what room number, building number we're in. So we're in building 17, room 105. And after we talk today about our program, if any of these you think you might qualify for, come over, fill out an application. We'll pre-screen you and determine if you're eligible for any of the grants. Like Linda said, they enhance what you're already maybe getting in financial aid, or if your financial aid isn't in, they can jumpstart you for a quarter sometimes if you're eligible. The new one, the Basic Food and Education Grant, is for people that are on the federal food stamp program. There's state food stamps and there's federal. Most students that I see that they're on federal food stamps. If they're not, I give them a referral and they might go to DSHS and get on the federal food stamp program because their income limits are below the limits as stated on our flyer. And there's many students that are eligible and that are not on the food stamp program. How does it benefit you? If say your Pell Grant isn't in or your state need grant isn't in, it can pay for tuition. It can pay for fees. Down the road, it can pay for textbooks and support services like bus passes and gas vouchers to get you to school if you have an emergency and need those. So if you're on federal food stamps, and this is the next caveat, you have to be a full-time student or 6 credits or more. Most of my students are 12 credits, which is full-time. But I have one that's a 6-credit student, so that's okay, but you have to be in a professional technical program. So what I do when I have an intake is have you fill out the application and I screen you. I go into the system to see that you're in the right classes for the program you have registered for. So if you're in our orthotics and prosthetics, I'm making sure that all the classes are part of that program. If they're not, I tell students you're basically taking classes that you might be steering you away from using your credits and your financial aid. You really want to stay on track with your program because I can only support those credits. And then, like I said, bus passes and so on. It's a very simple program to be a part of. It's very encumbersome on the part of the student. It's a matter of progressing every quarter, getting a 2.0 or better, and turning in your progress report on the 20th of every month, saying I'm progressing, I haven't dropped or added any classes. So it's very simple to be a part of. And how does it help our campus? It just brings more dollars, another grant that'll help students that may fall between the cracks and not have other sources to pay for support or tuition and fees and books. So that's the BFET grant. If anybody thinks they might be eligible for food stamps or are on the food stamp program, you can come to our office and fill out an application. So if you're trying to get a liberal arts degree to transfer to Eastern or another college, those aren't eligible. So any questions about BFET? We call it BFET, Basic Food Education Training. Okay. At the end, I can also help you with sources for resume writing, job searching, networking, things of that nature. So when you are finished with your program, that's another piece to the grant too that we can help with. The next program, is there anyone in this room that has been on food stamps, or not food stamps, unemployment in the last 24 months? You don't have to raise your hand, but if you have been and you've exhausted it or you're presently on unemployment, you might qualify for worker retraining. And that's a grant that helps people that have been laid off and they're looking to get retrained. Again, it has to be a professional technical program. And if you're eligible, we drop the income eligibility because most people that are on unemployment get less than half their wage when they are unemployed. So we drop this eligibility for income. We no longer look at that. We basically just look at that you're in a professional technical program or maybe upgrading your skills, like taking some computer classes that will help you get a job, and pays for tuition and books. And usually only 1 quarter. Up to $1,650, correct? We just upped that last year. So $1,650. So if your financial aid, say you've come here and your financial aid isn't ready for you yet, remember the worker retraining program. Did I miss anything on that, Linda? No, it's a pretty simple program. So, okay. So if you hear of anybody even on campus that might be on unemployment or have exhausted and you know that, you might send them our way. Her question is, she was told by unemployment she couldn't be in school and collect unemployment. That is not true. There are people they don't want to see going back to school because they might be coming out of a demand field. They were laid off from something that's considered demand, like sales, customer service. There's a whole list of categories there that are demand, call center. So those people are not usually eligible for retraining, but that is a piece that our office can give you the form and you can apply and see if they'll allow you to go to school and collect your unemployment. That was another piece that our office did up until recently. And now we can give you the form and tell you to take it down to WorkSource and they'll help you get it turned in. Or if you haven't want it, but it's something that it's not true. And I hear that all the time, it's not true. There are many people that can't go to school because they're coming out of demand. There's another program too. It's called for low income. If you were in a low income position making under $11.27 an hour, there's another program called Training Benefits, and people can go to school and get their unemployment as long as they get training benefits. So if you want to come to our office, you can, and I'll talk to you about that because we can talk more in depth. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Opportunity Grant. I'm not as familiar with that one because the lady that does that is up in financial aid, but it's basically you fill out an application in our office and we will take it up to Karen Sandel. She's the coordinator for that program. It's another grant, and it's quite a large grant. It came to us about 5 years ago, and it's been very successful. The qualifications are you must be a Washington resident. You must have applied and be registered at our campus, SFCC. They also have it at SCC, so it's at both campuses. And you must have a GPA of at least 2.0. So if you're registering, you're a new student, each quarter the coordinator looks to be sure that your GPA stays above 2.0 and that, again, you're staying in the program, what they call the program outline for the classes required for the program you're in. So if you're, again, taking prosthetics and orthotics. You can't be off taking art classes and PE classes if they are not electives or part of the program. So the coordinator looks for that every quarter. You must have applied for financial aid. Doesn't mean you have to be eligible for financial aid, but you at least have to apply. And the income limits are pretty generous. You must make under 200% of what they consider the poverty level. And that's pretty generous. So if you think that might be the case, you might want to come and take a look at what programs are covered under that program. There's only certain professional technical. Not all of them are covered. She also looks to see that you have little or no college experience. For somebody, we have a lot of students that come in and they may already have a degree, a bachelor's degree. And for those students, they don't usually get Pell or state need anymore because they're not eligible. And so they come and look for that grant, but you're not eligible if you already have a prior bachelor's degree. If you have an AA, she has looked at people with AA degrees, especially if they're not in demand anymore and you need the retraining. You can't have had it at another college, and I guess there's a database they can look into and see if your name pops up if you do apply. And you have to agree to just meet with the counselor once a month, kind of like my program. You have to meet with the person and just say, I'm progressing, I'm doing fine. And that's the Opportunity Grant. There's 3 quarters she'll pay for. So if you think any of these grants sound like you, or a student that you know, a friend or another student, let them know that we do have these grants. I call them the hidden money because a lot of times people don't know. They don't know about our office, they don't know about our funding, and it's kind of a use it or lose it kind of grant. If you don't use your money, the next year it could be less for our college. So we always try to use our money and use it wisely so that we have successes and next year we get hopefully more. And that's it for the 3 grants. Linda said the Work First grant we're not going to talk about because those students usually come to us from DSHS if they're on TANF.